All right, guys. Well, thank you for showing up tonight. If you can't hear me, let me know. And if you are someone who is currently doing the 6 week challenge, this is the group call that I do every month with my one-on-one clients. And as a thank you for doing the group challenge, I invite you guys to join us on this call, which I think is going to be a good one. So, real quick, if you haven't already, if you're watching the recording, I would suggest having like a pen and paper or like a Google Doc open or a Microsoft Word doc open. I don't know if you can hear my puppy barking in the background, because we're going to jot some notes down, do a little bit of deeper mindset work, some stuff that I've been working through on my own that I really want to coach you guys on going into 2024. Just more focused on how simple this process can actually be of not just only losing weight, but also just transforming how you approach life. I think weight loss and fitness and health are a great vehicle for self-development if you allow it to be. But if you shut yourself off from the process, if you view this process as strictly showing up, doing some workouts, tracking some food, and it's something that you're kind of on and off, it really makes it hard to dig into that deeper level and actually improve your life. So, I think a lot of times maybe people aren't ready or willing to do that deeper work. But I will say that if this is something that you have consistently struggled with throughout your adult life, then this is the deeper work that you need to do, or else you're not going to be able to see the changes that you're going to want to see. So let's start off with I want you to write down right now, be very specific. What is the big goal you have when it comes to your health? And you don't have to, you don't even have to share this. You're not going to have to share this with the groups. You can be as vulnerable and as honest as you want, but I want you to actually see it on paper. So I'll give you guys a second and give you guys a minute. Really think about that. Get specific with it. Don't think about the goal that you want to hopefully achieve in the next 2 months or even in 2024. I'm talking about what is the big goal that you've probably been chasing for a while, your dream outcome that you want. So think about that for a second and write that down. And again, you don't have to share this with anybody, so don't hold back. It's only for your eyes to see. I'm gonna kind of keep talking just to not have dead air. But when you're done writing it down, just type a one in the chat so I know that you're done. So again, right now, what we're doing is we're really just thinking on the big lifestyle change, the big goals that we want to see. All right, one person's done. And it's okay if it takes you an extra minute, it's fine, no rush. But remember, we want to think big here. Don't think about what sounds good or what you should write. I want you to really be honest. What are you trying to accomplish? Awesome. All right. Great, guys. Awesome. So now what I want you to write down right underneath it is I want you to be honest with yourself and write down how long this has been a goal that you've had or how long you've been trying to accomplish this. Or let's say you've never tried to lose weight before, but now you just started trying last week. How long has it been something that you've struggled with? So if let me know if that makes sense. But write down underneath that goal how long you've been trying to accomplish it or how long you've struggled with that. And then again, just type a one when you're done. So I'm not rushing you guys through. So, yep, awesome. Yeah, this should be a quicker answer, right? Awesome. Dee's done, Marianne's done. Again, guys, no rush, but just be honest with yourselves, like how long. And this isn't meant to discourage you, like, oh man, I've been dealing with this for 10 years, 20 years, 15 years, whatever. It's not meant to discourage you. It's just meant to kind of just bring awareness to what we're going to talk about tonight. So the two things you should have written down either on a piece of paper or in your Google Doc or in your notes are your specific dream outcome and how long you have been trying to accomplish that goal. And then one more thing I'm going to have you guys write down after you're done with that. And this one might take you an extra minute. And again, if you're watching the recording, feel free to pause it and think on this for a minute. I want you to write down 5 moments over that time frame. So let's say you've been struggling with, let's say your goal was to lose 100 pounds and you've been struggling with that goal for 10 years. I want you to think back on the last 10 years during the specific time frame when this has been a problem or a goal that you've been chasing. I want you to think of 5 moments where you felt truly like happy. And this happiness has nothing to do with your weight or your fitness or your health. I just want you to think of moments in your life. It could be your wedding day. It could be the birth of your child. It could be a promotion at work. I want you to specifically think of 5 moments where you felt really, really happy and jot those down real quick. And then again, one in the chat box when you're done. Hopefully you guys are hanging with me through this. I know it's a slower start, but I really want you guys to be present and thinking on this right now, really thinking about, specific moments over the last few years when you've been trying to chase this goal, but moments where you've actually felt like truly happy or, a big, moment in your life, a big moment in your life where you just felt you were enjoying the moment, you were present. This wasn't something that you were worrying about. I noticed we had a lot of ones on the first one, and the ones are starting to die down. So make sure you're just typing in 1 just so I know everyone's present and they're actually doing these things. Awesome. Thanks, Julie. Thanks, Sheila. Thanks, Marianne. Thank you, Sarah D. Awesome. Awesome. All right, cool. So the purpose of doing this is I want you to acknowledge something real quick. I want you to acknowledge that there were at least 5, and I'm sure there were many more. There were at least 5 times where you felt really happy, even though you were not at your goal weight, even though you were not at your goal body, right? So what this shows you is that you have access to feeling that happiness. You have permission to feel that joy, even if you are not at your goal body weight. And what I'm trying to get out here is that your weight, and maybe there's people on this call who aren't even trying to lose weight specifically. Maybe it's a certain fat loss goal or a certain body that you're going for, right? It doesn't always have to be numbers on the scale, but your body results, your weight, the scale doesn't dictate your happiness. It doesn't give you permission to be happy. So when you hit the number or the body, and when I say number, it can be weight on the scale, clothing size, body fat percentage, that's not going to bring additional happiness to your life, right? Because you have the ability right now to be totally happy with your circumstances and totally happy enjoying life and present. You have the ability to accomplish things. There's probably been things over the last 10 years, 5 years, however long you've been chasing this goal. There's been other things in life that you've accomplished, right? But for some reason, you have attached a large part of your self-worth to how you look or how much you weigh, and you're afraid of seeing that number go up. But yet we constantly find ourselves gaining back the weight we lost, right? So you're afraid, and I'm sure many people on this call would say that they have a fear of gaining weight, or fear of the scale. They're scared when the scale goes up, or they get nervous, or they get frustrated or discouraged, right? Yet if that were truly the case, if you were truly afraid of that, wouldn't you believe that that would mean we would never have a weight gain problem? Because if you're truly afraid of it going up, you would never let it go up. It wouldn't be a thing that you would allow to happen if you're truly afraid of it. The problem isn't that you're afraid of the scale. The reason why you're afraid of seeing that number go up, or you have a trouble stepping on a scale, or that you have trouble with body image, it traces back to insecurity and self-doubt about your own value and your ability to achieve the happiness that you think is going to come from that scale weight. It's just manifesting itself in your body image. So what I want you to really think about now, and if you're chilling watching this alone, like, you can close your eyes and just really try to conceptualize that. What if you woke up tomorrow and you were at your goal body weight? Okay. So tomorrow you woke up and the scale was down however many pounds you wanted it to be down. So if your goal is 10 pounds, 20 pounds, 50 pounds, whatever it is, tomorrow you woke up and the scale was just down, right? But nothing else has changed. Okay. So you don't even look any different. This is key. Okay. You don't look any different. You don't look any leaner. You don't look any more toned. Your clothes don't fit any better. You have the same confidence and same energy that you have today, but the only thing that changed was the number on the scale. Like, would that make you happy? Would your insecurities go away? Probably not, right? It's like when people think money is going to solve their problems. Like, a lot of people who win the lottery end up going broke because they don't know how to manage that, and they're actually afraid of money, or they don't see themselves as a wealthy person. So when they get the money, they subconsciously sabotage it because it brings them back to their comfort zone of where they feel comfortable. When we have told ourselves this story that we're not worthy of being healthy and fit, and we've made it out to be this thing that we almost kind of demonize, right? Like, all you guys would probably admit that you want to lose weight, you want to be healthy, but there's probably a part of you that looks at people who are in shape with a little bit of like, their life is probably boring, or like maybe a little bit of like resentment, right? So like, why would you, so if that's the energy you're putting out, right? If your energy is, oh, being fit and healthy is restrictive and boring and difficult, and it's hard to maintain, and why would you then want to achieve that thing, right? It doesn't make any sense. It's like if you were saying, you had an ingrained fear of cats, and then you were like, but I probably think I should get a cat as a pet, right? You're never going to do it. It's just, it doesn't make sense. So we have to really start to accept the fact that you have the ability to tap into your happiness, to tap into your self-worth now, regardless of what the scale says. Because if you are operating from that space of being happy and being present and valuing yourself, the choices that you're going to make are going to get you to the health goals that you want. So this isn't about like this isn't about like, oh, just accepting your body and not trying to change it. That's not what I'm saying. Because I think that improving your health and improving your body and losing unwanted weight and making the changes that we're trying to make are are almost necessary. Like, they're literally adding value to your life. Every day that you stay consistent with these healthy habits, it is adding value to your life. Every dollar that you invest in a trainer or a nutrition coach or in buying healthy foods, right? You are expanding yourself as a person. You are making yourself healthier and more valuable and adding years to your life. So you can't look at doing one-on-one coaching or doing a challenge or whatever as an expense. It's something that you are investing money into your, like, who you are as a person, and giving yourself more value. And when I say value, I don't mean like, oh, value like I can make more money, or I'm people are going to love me more. I mean, you are bringing more value to yourself. You're showing that yourself that you are worth being healthy, that you are worth being fit. Because if I asked you if I pulled anyone off the street, if I said, would you rather be in shape or out of shape? Would you rather be, fit or overweight? Would you rather be confident or insecure? Like, the answers are pretty simple. It's the actions that are difficult because you don't view yourself as a fit, healthy, in shape, confident person. So you have to start to get in touch with how valuable you are as a person. Like, just waking up in the morning, there are probably people whose lives are better because you're in them. So you have to start to be okay, not even be okay with, but just acknowledge that your value as a person is more than just the scale. And again, it does not mean, I need to emphasize, this does not mean that you don't try to improve. It's not like, well, I'm good enough how I am, so I'm just going to stay here. What we really want to get to is your confident, ideal self. Okay. So what I want you to really start to look at is really operating from a place of confidence and value. If you saw yourself as a healthy, fit, confident, valuable person, what are the choices you would make from that headspace? Okay. You need to give yourself permission to be happy, to be confident right now. Because when you skip workouts, when you overeat, when you're drinking alcohol to excess regularly, these are reactions to your lack of confidence and to your insecurities. They are stories that you tell yourself to distract from the feelings that you don't want to address. So when you feel really insecure, when you feel invaluable, when you feel like you don't deserve the best, of course you're going to skip workouts. Of course you're going to overeat. Of course you're going to drink alcohol to numb, right? Or we're going to scroll on our phone instead of journaling. And I get it. Like I've been in those headspaces before. I'm not telling you this as someone who's never gone through it. But like you're making those decisions because you don't want to deal with certain feelings or you're trying to distract yourself and it's temporarily distracting you and then it's making the problem worse. And then what happens? You get more insecure, you see yourself as less valuable, so you make more poor choices. If you were confident, secure, happy, but and with no promise of change, and that's where we're trying to get to right now, is if you can acknowledge that if right now you saw yourself as valuable, as worth having happiness, as worthy of being healthy, as like the you waking up in the morning is bettering people's lives. Like some of you on here are parents, some of you have spouses, maybe you even have grandkids. Some of you guys are teachers. There are people when you wake up in the morning whose lives are better because you're in them. And if you see yourself as that valuable of a person, what are the decisions that you would make for that person? Like separate yourself from your ego and your stories that you've told yourself about, and I'm not saying these things don't feel real, and I'm not saying that they're not real, like to a certain extent, but I'm saying like they are at the end of the day, they are stories, right? And we're holding on to all this baggage, the stories of like, oh, I just can't say no to sweets, or I just don't have motivation, or like I'm too, I'm too insecure to go do this thing, or it's like you're holding a bunch of shopping bags filled with dirt that you don't even need, and someone comes to you and tries to hand you like a wad of money, and you go, I can't take that money right now. I'm holding all this dirt. Sorry, right? It's like you are holding on to baggage that is preventing you from grabbing stuff that is going to add value to your life. And that's where your health and your workouts, your nutrition choices fit in. You're holding on to these old self-image stories. I'm meant to be overweight. Maybe I'm just meant to be this way. Or like I have, and it goes, it sounds weird, but it's like even things like, saying like I have a bad back or like I'm just lazy, I'm just tired all the time. Like I just can't be around cookies without overindulging. Again, these are stories that we tell ourselves to keep ourselves where we feel are most comfortable. And it makes us feel more insecure and it creates that cycle. So if you right now, if you were able to tap into that headspace and look at the things, like literally write out things that you've accomplished in the last few years, moments where you were happy, who are people that see value in you, who love you, and none of that external stuff matters, but it's just giving you some evidence that you are worth more than what you're accepting. And then you have to tap into a place where you have to be like, I am so valuable and I value myself so much. I love myself so much that if nothing were to change from my current circumstance, I would still be happy. Right? Because guess what that happens then? Let's say you were to really tap into that belief of if my body never changed, I would be okay with that. Not only would I be okay, but I would be grateful for that. That would boost your confidence. It would make you happier. And when you're confident and happy, what are the choices you're going to make? When you wake up tomorrow morning as confident and happy instead of stressed and insecure, what were the choices you would be making, right? Really think about this. Like what foods would you choose? What level of consistency would you have with workouts? A big one, who would you no longer allow power over your choices? Like who would you cut out of your life? Who would you no longer let affect your decisions? Like really take that in. You would probably choose healthy food. you would probably not reach for alcohol as often. You probably would want to go move your body and do something, get and add value to life by working out. Like now I want you to pretend one more pretend thing, I promise. Um, Pretend that tomorrow you have your goal body. So this is a different scenario. Before it was the scale that changed. Now your actual physical body changes. You wake up tomorrow, you're at your goal weight, you have your goal body, and you knew this isn't like a trick. It's just like you knew that it was never gonna get worse. Okay. So picture you have your goal body, like close your eyes, picture that exactly how you want to look, the confidence, all that stuff. You have that. But and you know it's never going to change. So no matter how much alcohol you drink or workouts you skip or food you eat, your body will not gain weight. It will not get fatter. Picture that dream scenario. But this is a huge but, and I really want you guys to focus on this. Your confidence, your energy, and how you feel would change based on your choices. So your body won't change, but your how you feel, your confidence, and your energy and your health would change. So you could still get type 2 diabetes. You could still feel like shit. You could still be depressed. You could still feel stressed. You could still feel anxious. You could still feel all those things. Your health, you could still have high blood pressure. You could still die early, but you wouldn't ever get fat again. You wouldn't ever gain fat. Okay. What decisions would you make if your body was going to be perfect forever, but your confidence, your health, and how you felt would change on a daily basis based on the choices that you made? What choices would you make? Because some people would say, man, if I could have my goal body and eat pizza every day, I would do it. If I could have my goal body and I never had to work out, I would do it. Bullshit. Yes, you would. You would still do those things because if you had your goal body, but you felt valuable enough to invest time and energy into how you feel, into your confidence and your health, what are the choices that you would make? You would probably work out a few times a week. You probably wouldn't allow people to have massive power over your decisions. You probably wouldn't care what your mother-in-law thinks as much. You probably wouldn't care if your coworkers pressure you into eating cookies. You probably would go to sleep at a better time. You probably would, read more, or you wouldn't scroll on Instagram as much. Like, what are the things you would cut out of your life if you were the most confident, like valuable person and you had the body that you wanted, but you knew it wasn't going to change? You would still make these other decisions. So the problem is that you are only associating those choices with the body. You're just thinking, well, I'll eat protein to lose weight. Okay, oh, I'll track my calories to lose weight. Oh, I'll work out to lose weight. But if you still see yourself as not worthy of losing the weight, if you still see yourself as someone who cares what other people think about them so much that they're willing to sabotage their health to just not have awkward conversations, like that's where we have to do the work. So we have to get you to that place where like it doesn't matter if, and even if it's your spouse, like it doesn't matter if they don't want, like if they don't want to eat healthy. Okay, who gives a shit? But I want to because I know the value that I bring to the world, and I need to take care of this valuable commodity. So how would you treat someone in your life, right? Think about if there's someone in your life who brings so much value to your life that you couldn't really picture your life without them. Not someone that you're codependent with, talking about someone who actually makes you happier. You feel like they enhance you as a person, right? And they enhance other people around them. And it could be someone that you really look up to. What advice would you give them to make sure that they're taking care of themselves? And then think about like why you don't take that advice. And it's because you don't see yourself as that person, right? Think about if you have kids and if your kids were an adult and they were telling you, yeah, I'm like, I'm lazy, I'm unmotivated, I don't work out, I'm sitting all day long, I don't like my job. I would start to get healthier, but like, my wife or husband is just like not on board with me. Like you'd want to grab them by the shoulders, like you're so much better than this, like you're worth so much more than this, right? And I see that in you guys, just getting to know you. Like obviously, like my one-on-one clients, I know them more than people who just started the group challenge yesterday. But like I see that in you guys. I'm having these conversations, and you're telling me like that you've held down a career for 20 years. You've raised good kids. You're a teacher, and you're helping all these kids every day, and you're putting them before you. Like I'm like, yeah, do you not fucking see like how you need to take care of yourself? And we can tell ourselves these stories that, well, life is stressful, life is hard, I don't have time. And I asked one of my clients a question, this question today on a call, and she's probably watching this recording because she said she was going to. But I told her, I said, anytime you're faced with a situation that you deem as stressful, that you deem as more important than taking care of yourself, I want you to ask yourself, how would taking worse care of myself help this situation? Because there's really only a handful of situations. The situations hopefully will never come up. There's only a handful of situations that would ever require you to actually put your shit on the back burner, right? Like if I was about to start a workout or I was, prepping a very healthy meal, and then my wife called me and said, oh my God, I'm bringing Carter to the hospital. He had an accident. I'm not going to be like, okay, well, I have to make sure I eat my protein first and get my work in, and then I'll be there for you guys. Like, no, I'm going to fucking run out the door and be where I need to be. But that is not what's happening on a regular basis. Like, yes, work projects are stressful. Yes, family things or holidays, whatever, those things can bring added stress. But does any of that stuff get better by you treating yourself like shit? By you not valuing yourself? And it's because we're insecure and we're not seeing the value in who we are. So we're allowing outside things to come in and distract us, right? And then we're telling ourselves these stories, these constant stories that we're creating of, well, I can't because of this. I can't because of this. Right. And even down to like little things, and even like down to the people who are hesitant to invest money in this stuff. When I'm on a call with someone, which I've been on plenty of calls where people like you who've opened up to me and then been like, I want to do this. Let's make a change. And that's really awesome. I've been on calls with other people who are like literally crying, saying that they want this so bad. And then when it comes time to do it, they're just like, oh, I don't have it in my budget. And I've seen people do that and then go buy a Lexus, right? Like, look at the habits and the choices. Where is your energy? Where are your thoughts going? Where is your money going? Are you investing those things, these really valuable things, money, time, energy, into yourself to expand yourself and bring and make yourself even more valuable? Or are you using it towards distractions, things that are holding you back or keeping you where you are now? Because that's where we feel comfortable. So what I want you guys to do, you have the notes that you wrote down so far. What I want you to do is to really, and I did this for myself. I've been doing this deeper work too, and I'll leave you just with this last task, and I won't keep you all night. What I want you to do, and I'm challenging you to do this like today. I know it's late for you guys who are watching this, but like do it ASAP. Is get a Google Doc set up that's called the ideal me, and put your name there. So if I was doing mine, I'd be like the ideal Adam. This is going to be a description of who the ideal version of you is. And it's not based in like like logic of like, oh, well, if I were, it's just like, no, wipe the slate clean. Like, how would the most valuable, confident, healthy, fit version of you, how would they behave? Right? Like, what choices would they make? And what you'll find is when you're digging into that, it's not, I would eat no carbs. It's not, I would be tracking my macros perfectly. Dig deeper than that. How would you be showing up in your relationships at work? How would you be prioritizing your health? What are the things that you actually want to be doing? Because if you can get in touch with that, that is your decision. That's your map for the decisions you should be making, because that's what we're working towards. So if you see like, well, hey, this is the most valuable, confident, healthy, fit version of Kate, right? Well, when you're making decisions, anything that goes against that, you need to confront and go, well, why am I making this decision? So if I say the ideal, healthy, fit, confident version of me, eats healthy, 3 to 4 balanced healthy meals a day, but I'm also flexible with my nutrition so that I can enjoy, dinners with my family. I don't take it so seriously to where it's a burden. Then that can help guide your decisions. Because I guarantee you, if you were to tap into that stuff, no one is ever going to say, oh man, the ideal rock star, valuable version of me like stays up till 1 o'clock in the morning scrolling TikTok and skips breakfast and just eats Cheetos for lunch and doesn't work out and like that's not who we would describe. And what I want you to do through this process is realize that all the traits that you're listing out as your ideal self are all things that you're capable of doing tomorrow, right now. List all those things. You are capable of doing them right now, right? Because you're not going to be like, oh, the ideal version of me deadlifts X amount of pounds. Like that's not what's important. The ideal version of you works out 3 days a week. Okay, so we're going to start working out 3 days a week. The ideal version of me, eats 3 to 4 healthy meals per day. The ideal version of me doesn't go out drinking 4 nights a week. Like really get that down. What does that look like? And it's going to be a little uncomfortable at first because you're going to have to like really confront some stuff that may be coming up, that you might be hanging around a bunch of people who are not serving that higher version to you, that valuable version of you. And if I've totally lost you on this call and you're like, this is not what I signed up for, I'm sorry, but like this is the work that probably should have been done a long time ago that we need to start tapping into now. So that's the homework, is to get that document of that ideal version of you written out, and so you can start making decisions from that place of like what would this ideal version of me do? And you have to remember that that ideal version of you already exists. It's not a made up thing. Because as much as we like to tell ourselves a story of, oh, I'm stressed out, I'm anxious, I don't have the confidence. If someone had like someone you love, like if someone you love was in trouble, you would probably figure out like what to do. You might be the person that they turn to. So it doesn't mean, you know what I mean? It's just we don't see you don't see yourselves as that. And I'll leave you off with uh one last uh note. So I was doing this work on myself recently, and one of the meditate like I've been meditating more, and meditating isn't what people think it is. It's not sitting in a room of candles and alming. It's literally just sitting with your thoughts and trying to tap into something. So I was meditating on this thing, and one of my big, and I'll share this with you guys, get vulnerable with you guys too, is one of my biggest fears, my own childhood trauma, the story I've told myself over the years is that like I'm afraid of going broke again. I grew up with no money. I grew up, being losing our house at one point when I was a kid. It's just always been a source of stress for me. And the story I've told myself is that because I'm stressed about that, I work hard, I'm an achiever, whatever. But my biggest fear as a provider, as a dad, as a husband, is losing it all and putting my family through that stress that I grew up with. So I actually had to tap into the meditation was to picture your worst case scenario, which was, lose everything. All my clients leave. I don't know how to, I can't, I'm not bringing home anything. We lose our house. It's winter in upstate New York. Me, my wife, my son are out on the street. Literally, we have to sleep on like in a park in the snow. Worst fear. But I had to confront that, and actually I had to name the emotions that I would feel. Sadness, depression, anxiety, hopelessness, shame, fear. And I was honestly like tearing up as I was doing it. And then I was thinking about, and then I had the next step is to go, well, in that situation, what would be something that you would find gratitude? Where would you find gratitude? What was something you'd be grateful for in that moment? And I thought of how my son does this thing, how he'll want me and my wife to all hug, like me, my wife, and him will all hug, and he'll literally just be like, "I love you, mommy, daddy," like that. He does that like every day. And I thought about like how in that moment, if we were living out on the street and he was cold and I couldn't figure out how to warm him, how that would make me grateful to just hear that. Or I thought of how sometimes he says a funny thing and it makes me chuckle. Or how if was we were homeless and I was out trying to figure out how to get us, a meal, and I came back, how he would be excited to see me. And then I was like, you stupid fuck. But when you're in your 4 bedroom house with that's heated and we have savings and we're paying our bills and we're investing and we're being smart, you can't appreciate those things because you're so distracted by the fear of everything going wrong that you're not present when those things are actually happening. The things you would be grateful for if you lost everything are happening every single day in front of your eyes, and you're not being present because you are focused on disaster possibly happening. And that woke me the fuck up, right? And I want you guys to think about that. I want you to think about like if your worst case scenario was true. If we're keeping it in the health and fitness thing, let's say you gained 50 or 100 more pounds and you didn't know what to do and you felt even more like crap and like all this stuff, like everything all your dream outcome picture, it's swinging in reverse and it's worst case scenario. What is something that you would find gratitude in? What's something that you'd be grateful for? And you might just be like, hey, I'd be grateful to just be able to I don't know, walk around the block. Well, you can fucking be grateful to walk around the block right now. You can go do that right now and be grateful for it. You can choose to live from that place of gratitude, and it'll bump you up a level, and it'll bump up the happiness level. It'll bump up the confidence a level, and then you'll make another decision of like from that place of I'm a happy, confident, valuable person. What's the next choice that that person would make? Because it probably isn't going to be to grab the wine. It's probably not going to be to just eat shit food because it's convenient, right? It's not going to be to scroll aimlessly on social media and feel worse about yourself. What would you be? And it doesn't mean you have to be like this high achiever who's just constantly developing, but like the highest version of me, when I think about that, is able to eat ice cream with my wife and son and not worry about like, oh, I'm not following my diet today. That's a highest version of me, right? But the highest version of me also doesn't do that every single night. So you can figure out what that is for you. So hope this is helpful, guys. Let's get that ideal me document written out. I have one written up for me. I've been looking at it daily. When you're journaling, use that as a guide. What decisions are you making that are in line with that highly valuable, confident version of yourself that you're working towards? And this is where we're going to start operating from. This is the work we're going to start doing. And I hope you guys are down for it. I hope you guys are excited about it. And if you're feeling resistance towards it, or like this is too for me, and like I just want some macros and some workouts, that's cool. You can still do the workouts and you'll still get your meal template and you don't have to listen to me talk. But for those who are willing to do this work, I think it's going to be very, very powerful. So I'm excited to continue doing this work with you guys and to continue being on the front line and taking it all in and learning and getting better at teaching it. And I hope you guys are along for the ride. Anyway, thank you guys. I hope this was fun and insightful, and I'll talk to you soon.